Okay, what's up, y'all? So, of course I want to say welcome back to all my subscribers. Thank you guys for watching. I know I say that as part of my intro and it seems kind of, I don't know, obligatory, but it's not. I really appreciate you guys coming back and watching this stuff because I know how hard it is to keep people's attention these days, and especially to subscribe. It's crazy. So I really do appreciate it. I know I say it all the time, but I mean it. And of course I want to say welcome to the randos, passers-by, and all that kind of stuff. So today we got a bike life topic. I have not talked about bike life stuff in quite some time, and I feel like I'm yelling because I have to talk so much more loudly than I used to because my bike sounds awesome to me, but I did not realize how much it would affect my audio quality in these videos. So my brother gotta yell. You know what? And actually, for this video, I think I'm gonna switch the perspective. So we gonna ride from the GoPro view. So, bike life to me is what I'm going through on my journey in this bike life. I'm not talking about this bike life, we out here type crap. I'm not, that's not my lane. That lane exists, and a lot of people confuse that lane and think it's one big umbrella that affects us all. Bike life itself is an umbrella, but it has its own various niches and nuances and stuff like that. So when I talk about bike life, I'm talking about what I'm going through, maybe some experiences I've had with buddies. I'm trying my best to explain why we look so crazy to normies sometimes, because a lot of people still just don't understand bike life, and they think it's one thing when it's really not. So now that I've got that little disclaimer out of the way, I do not speak for all bikers, of course. We are not all the same, and I'm not their voice. I'm just talking about me. I'm talking about riding in the heat. I've done my bike life playlist here. If you have not seen it, go ahead and check it out. But I've done a couple different weather variant type bike life things: riding in the rain, riding in the cold. And I think I've talked about riding in the heat once or twice, but not as in depth as I want to talk about it today. It's going to be a short topic, but an in-depth topic. If I could ever speak correctly, this video will probably be over already. So I ride in the heat, I ride in the cold, I ride in the rain. I do enjoy riding, and every time I ride, it's based on how I feel that day. Sometimes we just don't feel like getting out and getting in the heat because it is freaking hot. People ask me all the time, are you hot now? Yes, it's hot. It's all black. I got a black helmet. I'm a black dude on a black bike with black accessories. It's hot. It's hot. Don't ask me if I'm hot. I'm hot. If I was walking around in a Power Ranger outfit without a motorcycle any other day of the week, yes, it's hot. But the thing about it is I wear this gear. I have a mesh jacket. The mesh jacket is much worse in this heat than this armor. This armor is very breathable. It's open, and I can rock a t-shirt, just gloves and my helmet, but I have come into too many situations where I've used my gear, and I like a cold breeze. I just don't like it inside my skin, which where it would be if my skin was on the ground when and if I have an accident and fall. So I keep my gear on, but luckily I've had an opportunity to buy this type of armor, and I've said it before, but I wear my little tight Air Force shirt that lets me slide this armor on and off very easily, because if I just had a t-shirt on and I began to sweat, then it would be much harder for me to get this armor off and on. As soon as I put this stuff on, I'm starting to get warm. As soon as I put it on, I get a little overheated, and today I think it's about
1,000 degrees.
But honestly, it's 86. It was about 91. It dropped a bit this afternoon, and this shirt is moisture wicking. It cools me off as the wind blows, which feels amazing, because normally hot air, when we're going through it, it feels just like you, especially if it's humid outside, it feels like you just stepped into the bathroom after somebody took a hot shower. Or if it's dry out, it's like staring into a hair dryer. It sucks. But sometimes, even in the heat, we'll catch a nice cool breeze, and we've got these various vents and airflow throughs on our helmets that pulls the hot air out. But it only works if we're moving. Sitting still, like this stoplight that I'm currently at right now, if my visor was closed, which the only reason I have it partially open is to kind of block some of the sound, but I still need some airflow. If my visor was closed, I would feel sweat coming down the brim of my head, immediately getting soaked up by the helmet pads, because that's what they do, and I gotta wash them all the time because I don't get the sweat pad up in there. And as soon as I start moving again, that sweat actually cools down, and it actually feels pretty good, at least to me. But it just gross. It sucks that you know what it is. But that's what sweat's for, right? It's to cool you off. So we got the vents, we got the shirt to help me get this on and off. My pants are thick. They're Kevlar pants with knee pads in them, and they're padded, so when I drop on my ass, I don't lose it. You know, I got a little bit I'm trying to keep. I do some squats every now and then, some leg lifts. So I want to keep it. And it gets hot. The asphalt, the street gets hot. All of that hot air that you would normally feel standing on a corner if you're trying to cross the street, we feel it the entire length of the road because we're exposed. All of that heat, it's not like in a car where the air conditioner's blowing on you and it's cooling the air around you. The hot air around me is still flowing over me, and it's slightly cooler, like when you got your ceiling fan on and the air in the room is already hot and it's just blowing down on you. But the only reason that it's cool is because it's moving so fast that it's cooler than the air in the room. Same situation, but just that way. And it's hot, but it's also cool. It's not horrible, but some days it can be, especially depending on the humidity. That was close. Man, I see some crazy stuff when I'm riding. I wish everybody could see what I see because this is ridiculous. I see people almost get dead every day. And that's why I wear my armor in the heat, because you never know when you're going to do it. Everybody says ride your own ride, but you're going to die your own death too. So I keep my armor on no matter how hot I am. And sometimes it is ridiculously hot. Like right now, I'm starting to sweat. Maybe because I'm talking too much and heating up my helmet. But without that constant airflow through my helmet, all I can feel is heat. And now that I'm sitting still, my temperature gauge, you can't see it very well. That's going to slowly start to tick up. Even though this bike is liquid cooled, it only does so much. And the bike literally has to be moving after a while. And the cooling fans will kick on. But without that constant airflow over the bike, you get a plume of heat coming up your nether regions, especially on a faired bike. On a naked bike, might not be so bad. But on a faired bike, all these pockets hold heat and it wafts out and it mists up my neck and into my joints and my joint, not my arm joints. And it gets pretty warm in there. And I, of course, get sweaty, just like anybody else would. And people go, well, why would you do that? Because I love riding that much. It's that simple to me. It's not like, oh, I'm trying to do this to show off. I don't need to impress anybody. I ride alone most days. Riding is such, I don't know, it can be, I can't speak for everybody, but it can be a very powerful motivator for a lot of things. Like I said, I use it for stress relief. Should need to eat a burger. I use it for fun. I use it for boredom, curing boredom. It's such a positive addiction to me, which it is, that some days it doesn't even matter how hot it is. So that's why when you see a rider and they're out there looking crazy in all of this gear and it's 2,000 degrees out, you're like, why would you do that to yourself? I'm doing this for myself, not to myself. But that's just my take on this little section of bike life, riding in the heat. It's hot. The ground's hot. The bike's hot. The air is hot. The sun's hot. But it's all still very, very cool. Appreciate you guys watching. Check out some of my other content. I'm gonna try to get home and not get dead. And I will catch you guys later. Probably didn't hear none of that, but I'm gonna keep talking while I'm shifting because this bike sounds awesome. Oh, I'm out of shift. All right, I'm out. Hi guys. So after credits once again, because I forgot something as usual. I forgot to, don't kill me. I forgot to say how it affects my gear. So the heat, of course, affects everything. The motorcycle gets hot, the grips get hot. They are very malleable to the touch when you first get on the bike, and it's just like a steering wheel. They absorb heat and they eventually cool off, but they kind of get hot again if you're sitting still, just like everything else on the bike gets hot. This windscreen, the clear one, even the black one or tinted one, will, I shifted into nothing by the way, will reflect and amplify light. So if you're sitting still long enough, stuff will start to get even hotter based off the angle that is getting hit by the light. That's why when I park, I take all my stuff off, take my cameras especially, my phone and all that stuff in. But if I leave my helmet on the bike, instantly it gets hot. We parked one time to go to a restaurant, and the restaurant was closed. Went to put my helmet back on, it was already baking inside. It dried up the sweat, which was pretty cool, but it was so hot, like you just want to get it on and get moving and get out of there. Everything that you wear gets hot very quickly. I have black boots. My toes are warm right now. They're cool because the wind's flowing over them. But if I was to sit still, everything starts to eventually just absorb that heat, and you just start to bake. It's like being in your own one-seater car with no air conditioning. My only air conditioning is motion on this motorcycle. So it basically answers a question and kind of doesn't answer a question, because the heat affects an individual rider just like it affects anybody in the car. It's hot. So, done yapping. Appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate everybody checking me out on Instagram. That's super cool. I'm gonna find some more stuff to yap about on the next video. I'm out. For real this time. I'm not coming back till the next video. Or unless I forgot something else. Just, you know what? Don't worry about it.